Hello, classmates. My name is Shantray Demerson, and the group that I observed was victims of domestic violence. And the theoretical concept examined in my observation is originated from the great theorist himself, Emile Durkheim, who was influenced by two wonderful scholars in his religious quest for more knowledge, W. Robinson Smith and James Frazer, who were both famous authors and acknowledged for their expertise in observing certain religions. Now, according to Durkheim, the theoretical concept of religion is something that is eminently social. Anything that's eminently social is significant, it's important. And we know that a social is something that is common, it's something that is shared among the people, it's a mutual agreement that is made public. Now, according to Durkheim, I like the way that he also believed in solidarity or the source of solidarity, that the religion is, he believed that religion was a unity, it was one, an agreement of feelings or actions that shared among human beings, that a common interest, that a bond that is shared between one or two people that's within the group. Now, Now, he also felt like that religion was a meaning of life that presented itself with a purpose to exist, that reinforced morals and social norms that was held collectively all within a society. In other words, he believed that religion also gave people a conscience to make people to do the right thing, where people felt like, well, maybe I should do this or maybe I shouldn't. Well, Emil felt like, Mr. Durkheim felt like, if that he felt like religion, it made people do the right thing, and I like that about him. Um, he also said that he believed his major thing was believing that it was eminently significantly social. He stated this fact because he believed that religion collectively brought individuals together to represent a body of believers with one thought pattern and a purpose in mind, to worship together and to express collective realities. In other words, what Mr. Durkheim was saying, that people came together to bring themselves together to draw strength from one another, to encourage one another. When they come together in religion, they bring themselves together in order to gain focus in the midst of anything that they're facing in the world today. He also believed that. I also believe that Emil did not, he did more than just observe the fact that religion was eminently social. I believe that he also witnessed the fact, because I just don't feel like, with his mindset, that he just observed it. I just feel like that he also participated with gathering himself with believers and with people that could strengthen him and could push him to the next level in facing whatever he was facing. So my choice, I believe, is appropriate for this theoretical concept, because while completing my observation at the bridge, I did my observation at the bridge over troubled waters. While completing my observation, some women and some children, they stayed and some went back home. Uh, excuse me. I believe that individuals that chose to go back home were not strong enough in their mindset. Because remember that Emil Durkheim said that it's eminently social, that means that you come together with one mindset, one body. You got one focus in mind. Your mind is focused on one thing. So that's why some women and children, or mothers or parents, or however you want to say it, they were able to stay, and some went back home. And I believe the ones that went back home, they were not strong enough in their mindset. They wasn't strong, they wasn't focused, and they felt like maybe they were they were facing what they were facing alone, and they had no one to lean stayed on, and so their thought pattern was to run back to what they were familiar with instead of allowing the religion to keep them and to hold them and to keep them on the right path so they would stay and get stronger to stay in the shelter. Now, the other thing that I want to bring out is that now that individuals they chose to, I believe that my argument would be here is that the individuals that chose to stay, I believe that they observed what I observed, should I say, rather, what I observed is that they connected well with others in the shelter. They connected well. These women were the ones that they built a sisterhood, and they went to church together because I was there on Sundays. They went to church together. They watched each other children's. They looked for jobs together. They grabbed hot meals together. They bonded together in order to draw strength from one another. They bonded together. Another thing that they did is they stayed engaged, or they stayed focused. They were like, you have my back and I have your back. Religion brought that together, because I don't believe in my heart that they would be able to stand, or they would be able to stay focused and to make it to the place that they needed to make it to. Most of these women were running from being victims of domestic violence. So most of them left everything that they had, and they started fresh. And so in order to do that takes a strong-willed person that have to be around strong-willed individuals. Okay, next I want to conclude on my video is that after concluding my analysis, the limitations of the concept theory, I believe, was useful, because coming to the bridge was sometimes it was an overwhelming feeling. And as a parent, I have always wanted to make sure that my children were in a stable place and they could call home, that they could call home and get comfortable. While, I understand that things happen and we all have different paths, but my heart was more hurt for the children that I had to witness that suffer the displacement. Now, I think for the most part of them, some of them, they felt like they were accustomed to the shelter because their life had been made up of shelter living, and they moved from one shelter to another. And oftentimes it made me wonder if the children would perhaps pick up the pattern of living from one shelter to another, or would this be the push in the life to make them focus and know that they can have a stable home without going from one shelter or calling a shelter a home. Now, I also believe that my observation was valid and limited, and I have to say that it's kind of both, because I'm not able to continue my observation because now that my internship is over with, my observation is over with. So they're only in the shelter for 90 days. So I often, I wonder, will they continue with the set path of gathering with one another, or being strong with one another, or after they're done with their 90 days, will they go back to their abusive lover, or will they go back to their old way of living? So that's why I conclude that my observation is valid and it's